Hey guys, welcome back. Maurice here, and today we have Phoenix Point, second part, issues with the game, specifically combat issues. And I will show you a few of them in one saved game, and then we jump to another one where I can show all the rest because it's easier, just so we don't have to wait and whatnot. So before we start, before we actually begin, I want to just, I don't know, I guess say thank you. One of you mad lads went in Snapshot Games forum and posted, I just today saw it first time, the post where it was like, oh, there's a good feedback from Maris, and the video where I actually say everything what's bad about the game. I was like, I wanted to clarify, I appreciate the game and developers' job and everything, and I let's try to be reasonable and find a way to improve those. The video intentions is to highlight them so you can see where to focus. It's not like I'm not trashing the game. I still have high hopes for it. But without that, I will try to be more, well, the better video. It's long story short, we'll see how it goes. So the topic is combat issues, and I will go through minor first. And first, as funny as it sounds, yeah, for this save game should be good, is wrong tooltips. And first minor issue is wrong tooltips. If you are wondering what I'm talking about, if you have, it's not only here, I can find another examples, I just need kind of show you the proof. So we see that Hell Cannon is doing 11 armor shred. Once we fire up and see here, they actually should be 10. What, how come? Alright, let's try Goliath, that shreds 5, but actually it shreds 4? Which is it then? And even if we see, you see where the problem is. When I fire it up and there will be tooltip on enemy that shred was 4 or 5, I still don't know if that's a showing mistake or actually it was, you know, that's the game. That's basically what you develop. So we need to know which is it then, right? And if there is too much, too inconsistent, we don't know which one is it. Maybe actually this 4 is the wrong one, and you get the idea. And there are some other, not a big issue, but still an issue. And I will just quickly, without proper, because I will show you also some from the major issues, so I don't need to come back later on. And this one is simple. Let me demonstrate 2 more things just right away. Is one big thing, we shoot at it and it's destroyed. Awesome, right? That's a big thing, and it still is getting wrecked. So obviously, let's take a look at these little ones, and we wreck. Oh, we don't. So yeah, this will be the point, pretty major, where undestructible environment exists, which is, well, you see, for example, you would not expect this one stands and the bigger one falls like nothing. And one more, I will just, this can be highlighted anywhere, but also the main general problem, I think it's in medium issues, is the long deployment of abilities. It seems little, but once you count all together, and combat is a big part of this game, and when it takes so long to throw, move, anything, it adds up and it gets on the nerves on longer gameplays, in replays and all that. So without that, to move forward for that point number 2, I will find some awesome little save game I have, which is named It Is Not Normal. It's for other cases, it was other video for other, I have my namings and everything, but let's head already forward, I think. Yeah, the point number 2 from minor, we are still in minor, is lost container loot. This is only my problem, I guess. You know, where there's containers in the combat field, you need to get them opened to get the loot out of them before you win it. The problem with the game itself, for me, for example, is before you win it, right? You see the last you see the mindfragger, you kill it, and oh, that was the last enemy, and boom, the game does not allow you to, when you kill all the enemies, to stay on the combat field. to go and get that loot that could be a solution, which is not there. You didn't get that container in time? Didn't open it? Screw you. Minor, as I said, it's minor, but still annoying as hell in combat. Alright, let's move forward. What we have is point number 3, enemies not having inventory. This is something I think more people are also kind of not happy, is often, I say often, when you kill enemies, they will drop whatever they have, right? And I will just repeat what Phoenix Point says all the time. It comes from people who worked on XCOM, particularly. In best case scenario, and best I say XCOM Apocalypse, every single enemy, whatever you see, whenever they die, they will drop exactly what they have. Like, it was not like gamble. This time I drop, this time I don't. You know? That would be nice if every single time everyone drops whatever they have. That kind of would make sense, right? Yeah, anyhow. Let's move on what we have for point number 4. I will not be able to show everything on here, but I don't need to. I can explain already. There will be parts where I can literally, that's why we are here, that I can show you. But the spider drone problem is whenever there's something to attack, let's say this turret is an enemy and the spider drone comes over here, which kinda is in the blast radius, but there's obstacle in between them, so it explodes and does 0 damage. And as funny as it sounds, when I tested out those spider mines, it's, I'd say, more than half of all spider drones do that stupid mistake. The only case where it actually makes sense, where it's not doing that issue, where issue is not present, is when enemy is in plain open field, which is basically never ever, because they also tend to take cover and such things. So yeah, whenever there is some obstacle near them, it's basically the spider drone will come over here and do 0 damage. Like, minor thing, basically spider mines, spider drones that are kind of messed up. So that's one of the things. Right, point number 5, ability deployment times. That's what I showed already when you drop those sweet turrets or do electro reinforcement. And I will just mention, I find it's quite often when you do when you do an action, for example, electric reinforcement, that I can basically still do. Let's see. You see, after animation actually done, we saw already wrong tooltip again, which said plus 120 armor, where it actually only 20. Mistake by 6 times, not a big deal. But afterward, there was a delay, that half a second or second where literally like, come on, game, what's wrong with you? And this will be the general theme at the end. I will put press and turn button, and then all my complaints will come together and you will see basically. But okay, before that we will move to point number 6, where we have still minor, is the same, enemy movement and action speed. And it is also, I don't expect like they need to do the calculations, the actions and everything from one hand, from other hand, whenever it's hidden and I don't see, it is still played out in full length, with full stops, with stops in between. And I will just remind you, this game literally from when you start it, open exe file or shortcut, whatever, and you have the final mission where you close, press exit. Everything you do is combats. There is no combats with ships, there is no base management and something like that and manufacture, but all the game consists of is this combat. And if combat is with those delays, which literally means you have a game with huge delays, the speed how it runs is so super slow. It's okay. You get the idea. Enemy movement, action speed. I will just mention other games. I believe every developer hates when you say that, but other games allow you to adjust movement speed for enemies, right? Whenever you hand over the turn, you can move the speed slider to fastest, and then enemies just do speed up everything. You will still see where it went, where it dropped, what happened in faster pace. That would absolutely immensely increase overall perception of the game. My belief. Alright, next point we have combat hang. It's funny, someone would say like, yeah, that's just a bug, don't mention it. Making this video and previous for the bugs and just testing out what I can show, what I can't, literally game hang 3 times. It's not like something that sometimes happens still. It seems like from the beginning, where actually I had 0 hang, then and still there was the issues for others. Of course, I'm not the only one. The updates came, the patches, the quick fixes, the something. The more they came, the more I see myself the game frozen. And another point where I have it in this map particularly, where it's literally like half and half time when it freezes, is whenever you hand over the end turn. Enemies are doing their turn, they move in the slow pace, and at one point you're just sitting like nothing moves for already 5 minutes because you don't know if actually there is something going on. But no, that's just hung. It is still and remember, I mentioned it is a minor issue, but which actually is quite big. So we need to assess how often it happens to others, because how often it happens lately, it would be major actually issue. But I'm just mentioning this, all right? Moving on, point number 8. It's also something I was just like, what? Middle mouse button with 2 question marks. I will just demonstrate. First of all, I will demonstrate it is kind of useful, not less, useful. Where you have zoomed out, the zooming is something you totally also, anyhow. And you want to see the whole thing, you can press middle mouse button and you see kind of overall. But why you need to hold it? Why it couldn't be just another step of why zoom works in 2 different ways with 2 different and you can't do anything once with the same mouse. It's literally you need to hold. What is this? I'm literally I see the use of it because now I kind of get overview, but I don't know. Whoever decided that mapping is either, I don't know. I don't want to be rude because maybe someone will make another post and say like, look at this, Maris made another pointing out video over everything you did wrong. But anyways, please, I don't know. That's why I have this question mark. Middle mouse button? Like, what's going on there? Someone was on drugs making this? But anyways, I'm not implying it, just asking questions. Last from minor things is Relaod reinforce targets friendly. Yes. Again, question remains.
I'm here.
Let me find someone. When you reinforce, the same is when you reload. What is literally this you see on the screen? This red. These are all my friendly. This also is a option when you find when you want to shoot somebody. This particular ability is not okay. Heal is something that you need to target one of your targets, but reload, this is mass ability. Most of the abilities, like 90% of them, is without target needs. So what is this like? Yeah, it will work for everyone. And when you reload, when you literally take a weapon, reload, why would you need to target some? You get the idea, minor things, but please. Okay, let's move on. What we have is we are in medium issues now. Overwatch friendly fire. This is something. I think this will be something where someone will like, no, it's okay. And I will take that for answer. I'm also just making some of you for previous video also gave me like clues like, no, you will find there when you I'm like, oh shit, I missed. Oh. So I also might some of those points can be counter say argued, okay? But one of the things is when you put someone, I don't have any weapon for this and I have used all the points, but when you make Overwatch, literally like Overwatch on this side, and enemy starts running, there is not a single, how to say, process of thought when your friendly guy actually can't hit enemy behind it and will literally put all the bullets, all the burst in your friendly soldier. There is not a logic. It's like, I'm stupid. Someone said me to shoot if something moves there. It's kind of, I see it, it's my mistake if my soldiers are, let's say, too close together, or I have friendly and there's an enemy. Somehow my mistake, but my every single soldier is exactly as stupid to shoot your own soldiers and not a single burst. I had that case where full burst went in my other soldier. I'm like, can't you see that your soldier in front of you, like kind of some logic, some can't, why it's not an obstacle, especially when we have friendly fire in the game, that your friendlies are obstacle, and if enemy is behind it, it should make a sense that you don't shoot them in your own teammate, right? I'm feeling dumb now explaining, but I'm just, as far as I know, you guys created a quite good this interaction and destroying environment and enemies and paralyze and shock and everything, and so much in place, but not shooting your own guys, nah, we should it. So yeah, for me it's already kind of, because it really questions how often you will use Overwatch when you see your guys just shooting down your own teammates, right? So it kind of excludes this ability entirely because it's kind of broken. All right, let's move on, otherwise it will be again too long video. This is smaller one. So 11, Siren Frenzy at the end of the turn. This is something actually I believe someone will hate me for saying this, but I can't show you this because we are fighting against disciples of Hanno. But when there are Pandorans, that really gets on my nerves when every single Triton and Crabmans have moved already, shot already, like done, and then it comes the Siren's turn, and Siren turns on the frenzy that allows enemies to move further. Like it's game made them especially dumb. I kind of feel I don't know. The game is giving me advantage by playing really dumb. I can't. Someone can maybe mention if that's probably not in the hardest difficulty. Then maybe enemy plays a bit better, but in my experience, that's always the case. I don't know what's the order how enemy picks their soldiers, but they spend all the running and shooting, and then Siren like, oh, frenzy, and literally the Siren itself is the last enemy who benefits from the frenzy. And it's stupid. It's just stupid, you know. Game is hard and everything, and with all the nerfs and balances and everything, but please don't make me feel like I'm literally, I'm not that handicapped, okay? It's okay if Siren first frenzies everyone and then they use that boost and play kind of smart, right? Maybe I just need a higher difficulty. That's another probably case. But just another point number 12 is wall destroying unreliable. That's something. For one hand I understand, from other hand I just totally don't. For example, these are concrete blocks, for example, right? we don't have... Yeah, I have used everything up. So these concrete walls, in my experience, Hell Cannon can destroy for sure. Goliath, grenade launcher, sometimes. The little one definitely, the smaller, some things. So the thing is that this will be another point for undestructible items, but the walls itself, when you shoot with some smaller caliber damage, I don't know how the calculation happens, weapon, it will take down the surface of it, but concrete, no. Concrete is kinda absolutely indestructible. This column, easily, it's already like destroyed. This the same something, no, it's basically again huge guessing game for me, who likes to destroy things, who likes to get 8 grenade launchers on the play and start destroying things, and then seeing some weird results makes me wonder if that destructible environment is kinda you should be promoting and bragging about. Just mentioning there are some results, and of course different map, different buildings, different results, different again and again. It's just, yeah. Maybe this is also something just my problem. Everyone else is just skipping and absolutely living how the map is built. I like to play around with what you created, and then, yeah. Anyways, you get the idea. Let's move on. We have point number 13 is moving enemies when firing, and this is literally, I don't have Pandorans, but I can mention the Crabman, the Artrons, or what was the name? I'm misspelling this, mispronouncing most likely. The Crabman. They have this specifically when you start shooting and your guy has burst. So there are 4 shots, for example. We used to have 5, now we have 4. The first shot lands and then it does some movement, and that movement, in most cases, absolutely changes the part you were shooting, usually it's arm, or absolutely moves out of the shots, and the rest of the 3 shots are absolutely out. And from one hand, it's like kind of, oh, the game screws you in that way as well. But then it comes to, I think, Chirons, and actually Sirens is almost not moving at all. They're just frozen. You target, you shoot, you get the results you want. So again, I think that inconsistency is the thing that is missing. Like, then make everyone move and everyone just avoid my bursts and absolutely screw me over, or then make them move but not that much. I can't give you all the answers. You are the ones who are creating. I'm just pointing out this inconsistency of enemies moving when I am freezing you in the shot and making a burst is absolutely... Alright. Now I'm looking, I hope I was not including, because it should be in here, map priority. And this particular map we are looking at, this middle mouse button, is special mission, and it will always be the same. It will always be the same map. So I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about the same discover locations and others, where we have a lot of repetition, a lot, and by a lot I mean with the big letters. I don't know how others feel about it. Whenever I play, maybe I have too good memory, but often I will see the same set of buildings, the same set, exactly the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's again. And I'm not speaking about few tiles where it's repeating themselves. Honestly, it's generated map. I expect the same assets, but when the huge blocks of the same, just, maybe only I have this problem where the map priority, and you get it. Yeah, I don't need to spend so much time on this because we have last point in medium issues. So long distance on enemy, lost distance on enemies. But that's something someone mentioned, and I actually added this morning. completely did slip my mind, thank you for reminding this issue, is whenever you use, when you get your guy and do a movement, and yeah, this was especially when I started moving this boss over, and you start moving, and for example, you see you can run this far. He starts moving, it detects enemy and stops. And in most cases, you lose at least 1 or 2 tiles. You can't run as far. What gives? It's exactly the same amount. So the thing is, there is miscalculations where it is already taken your action bar by moving, but once you see enemy, it is not. You haven't moved as far, so it throws you a little back. So you stay in this tile, but action points, not full, but just portion, is already taken. Like if you were in the next tile. That's the only logical explanation how it works, and when it works, I have noticed its miscalculations. It's not precise. So there should be another value check when you stop. Your soldier stops because he sees enemy. Then it checks if the portion taken from your action is precise, so it's not too big. You will find out whenever you start looking at, and this is already getting annoying. So it could be also major, but no, just a minor. So now we're in the big league. Nice. Again, it's just my opinion. Someone probably is more pissed off of some things that was in my minor, but I just try to be reasonable, right? So from major issues, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine, All right. Point number 16 from total count is undestructible items, and this is literally, if that's not an issue, I don't know. I can't. That's the thing. All the items, everything in the game looks the same. But when it gets on your nerves is when you're standing here and there's an enemy and you pick up the scepter. I remember that case. I was on a roof. I picked up the scepter and I aim at the enemy, and there's a little corner of all the rectangle. There's which means basically 1/4 of all shots will be shot in that thing. Destroyed, not destroyed, doesn't matter, but rest of them should be in the other rectangle. And then animation happens, and every single bullet, every single goes in that one little box or something on the roof, and it's not even destroyed. It's like all 60 bullets goes in the one little item. Like, imagine that. And with Hell Cannon, it's actually more funnier. Why funnier? Oh, that's funnier in the way.
Channel open.
Whenever you have a heavy, I think I don't have. Yeah, Hell Cannon. When you have an indestructible object, what I have found, and you do the shooting with Rage Burst, which should shoot 5 times. It shoots 1 projectile. When it's some weird thing happens, in most cases the object is not destroyed. Hell Cannon immediately turns downwards, like some weird position, and the rest 4 of the shots are not going out, and it just interacts. It interacts, and I have noticed that first thought, of course, it was like, oh, my mistake. The object was too close, right? In some weird sense, it just stopped. But then I had another cases where the problematic indestructible item was quite far away. And it was like, and it can be reproduced quite when you find a case and just reload and do more testings, which I do. And there's like, what gives? There are some situations where your Hell Cannon is absolutely useless from this position, shooting there, where the Rage Cannon shoots 1 projectile. That might be even more a root cause of it. I will put it under the same undestructible items that absolutely screws up gameplay and fun. So, right, let's not make too long video. We have 4 more things to go and the final bonus. Coming out of cover when aiming. Oh, this is... I need a guide. Why I have this stupid series? Anyways, we all know how it goes. You are in cover, for example, this guy. You pick up a weapon and you use your manual aim. He's simply not coming out of cover. You get the look where literally he's standing, so you can't see anything. You are behind cover, which whenever you do shooting like the blind shot, right, when you just aim at enemy and allow game to take projectile, then it's the soldier steps out of the cover. It's usually when it's behind full cover, it stands outside and then does the full shooting and then steps back. But when you do your free aim, it's just nope. And I think I believe developers are way aware of this and it's already in their process to fix it, but it is so major. It's literally you are getting behind cover. That's what game says you from the since the first tutorial, to get behind cover. And then when you try to shoot, the game is like, nope, ain't going to happen. You can't see anything. Ha ha ha. It's literally laughing in the face. It's a slap in the face. So please, yeah, if you can fix it as soon as possible, because you can't play without being behind cover. It's literally too, yeah. Only in case when you have full team of your technicians. But anyways, so you get the idea that that's still a huge issue is you're not coming out of cover. Point number 18, we have, oh, this is something with extra spicy. It's something that you are like, your eyes start to twitch. Yes, I specifically played the title. Now you see me, now you don't. It is when you are finding, when you place a cursor and it says, you will see that guy. And you run there because game gives you that one-liner that says you will be able to see him. And you run there and there are cases where, of course, the hand is sealed and something. Sometimes there's like, I don't know, one hair can be seen. Obviously you can't even dream of hitting it. And then the question is like, game, why the f you said I can see from here if I clearly cannot see from here? Like, you see, that's I believe it's a harder issue to solve because it's how the models are calculated and seen, and it's not easy. If that would be easy to fix, everyone would be happy. And it is so annoying when you precisely calculate your movement and you can take that one shot, and when you arrive, nope, okay, you can see me, and then you need to move one tile, but that totally destroys because you are out of action points. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You get the idea. It's huge. Please fix it. Point number 19. We are close to end. Oh, sorry. Explosion covers. And explosion covers is something that goes together with spider drones, I already mentioned, but it's particularly when you have your grenade launcher. And when you launch it, I need to also find some stupid example area. And when you launch it, well, literally the explosion, we are talking about explosion blast radius, where the game, I'd say 3 out of 5 times, when you literally aim it here, let's say, the blast radius is in the enemy is in the blast radius, the game shows you will take this portion of damage from him. Then you shot, it lands exactly there, it is in the blast radius, but because there was a small obstacle, glass, tree, air, enemy receives 0 damage. Then you're frustrated and you expect, like, in between then the anything that was in between obviously was destroyed by the one, and then you hit again because you have Boom Blast, and the second grenade lands and it shows like, yes, now for sure everyone will be hit. And again, two guys out of 3 is nope. I joked about it. Those two never ever wasn't. This calculation is so messed up because with all the information that game already withholds, with how much costs, what's the action plan, so many things in the game you need to find out for yourself, and then this explosion is kind of trick gambling. It's literally, if you land grenade in between them both here, then you can be sure. If there is a case where smallest little things are the small barriers, the bench, the recycle bin, anything is in between, or glass, it's like, maybe I will hit, maybe I don't. And you never know, and it's always a gamble. And when it's a gamble where your chance to hit is, I say, less than half of the time, then you probably stop gambling. That's kind of rule of logic, which makes really explosive items not reliable. And I'm not speaking about grenade launcher. That's the same. I had the problem in the previous video I mentioned. Do something about the grenades. Their blast radius is ridiculous, their throw radius is distance is ridiculous, their damage is ridiculous, and when it hits with some obstacle that it doesn't do damage, then it's like, why the hell I threw that thing in the first place? Why I even carry that thing in the first place? Right? Okay. Oh, it will be a shorter video than the first one, because we have only one thing left, and it is model targeting, and this is literally why I crossed here, because oh shit, I need that weapon. All right, so now I'm launching the turn. Sorry for that. In the same time, you can see all my points in action. How fast they move, how slow they pause in between action and decide something. I don't know the logic, the AI, the mechanics in it. It's just so freaking slow. The movement could be fast enough. I don't even see where that guy ran. Oh, he spotted. Anyways, you will see, and we can literally take it a time and see how long it takes. I need to play it so I can, because I was out of action points. And the last point you see is model targeting, and this is something that comes together with not coming out of cover and many more things. This grenade launched perfectly, destroyed, damaged everyone. It's not always the case. Again, sometimes it is. You see, there we destroyed floor, wall, roof, well, roof and floor at the same time, and it went well. In the same time, sometimes you throw that grenade, nothing, like poof, nope, nothing, no damage. I'm just saying. But the last one is the model targeting. The model targeting is when you aim at something somewhere, and you clearly have that precise aim in someone's, let's say, arm, but it's not highlighted. So it is really tricky, and it is basically the information for new players. If that arm part enemy is not highlighted with the red something, you will not hit it. Even if you literally like are over the enemy and you're like, that's hitting, that's 100% I'm aiming at enemy. If the part is not highlighted, like, nope, you're not hitting that. And the thing is, in most times it's so frustrating. For example, let me just combine the issue with another issue. Remember the part where game tells you will see that enemy, and you run there and you see only an arm. You see an arm, and yet when you do the free aim on that arm, no, that arm is not highlighted. You see it, but you actually don't. And when all it comes together, and coming together with, okay, then you think, okay, then I will shoot at the corner of the wall. It has piercing, penetrating, hard damage, so I might, I don't know, scratch a little bit the wall and hit the enemy and like, yeah, then again I'm just combining all together that, yeah, the wall this time is absolutely indestructible. Nope, no, you do. And you see, I'm now combining just to how that model targeting at the end is awesome thing that they made. This aiming is absolutely wonderful thing. It is something where XCOM 2 failed miserably when you stand right next to enemy and shoot at them and every single shot misses because, you know, 16% chance and it rolled that you will miss. It was ridiculous in XCOM and they definitely put a thought on it, and this mechanics is amazing and it needs so much better polishing before we can highlight it. Oh yes, you see? My turret literally just in kind of Overwatch mode, fully loaded in my... Actually, the queen I need to protect. Because fuck you. My apologies for my language, but if that's not something that says F you, then I don't know what is. Right? And we are still in the one turn. This is one turn. Of course, someone will say, yeah, but that's your problem. You threw too much turrets. No, the game is so freaking slow. The camera mode. Can we disable? I'm just throwing additional point. Can we disable this camera movement? It's also in the games where I don't need it coming down. I can literally look from above and just turrets, do your shooting. It's all fine with me. So now is the moment of truth. Let me demonstrate. This is just you. This is one particular model. So I have my sniper. You see how precise I am? I can literally shoot in this guy eye, like, or shoot nose off. Let's take a look at this model. You see? You see that you 100% will shoot at her, whatever it is. But this is arm. Obviously it's arm. Are you blind? No, you will never hit it. Then you maybe here. Oh yeah. Oh, here I hit. Oh, but here I don't. You see, I can of course keep making fun, but it's not fun. It's actually problem. Huge problem. And the funniest part. You see this? This is a torso. Oh, this is the same torso. It's not. Okay, this is unique model, but it's not the only case. This is literally. Oh yeah, of course I'm shooting here and I'm hitting torso. How that even makes sense? But the idea is, whenever you see an enemy, I don't know if I can see. No, all enemies are dead, obviously because of the turrets. But when you see just an arm, a one part, and you target it, and it says, "No, you can't see it." It's like, game, come on. And game's like, nah, you can see it. You can hit that. Can't that just do, right? So, if that's not a major, I will remind you, this game is absolutely trying to bring crazy new mechanic where you aim literally and do the chance that's your, but then those models must be precise. Then you need to step out of the cover. Then you need to rely on the thing that you will destroy the glass and hit enemy. Okay, glass in most cases you can penetrate and hit enemy behind it, but some small these things. This also, I think I will hit the guy. Let me just test it. Oh no! Oh, sorry. Yeah, this rifle actually can penetrate wall. As you saw, not this wall. Like, okay, you get the point. So model targeting, I think I don't need to highlight anymore. You see how it goes and everything and explain. So these things in combat I am saying must be solved before we even think about improving, getting more things, more something like, let's solve what we have, the mechanics, the things, the modeling, something, not stepping out of the cover and such things, and then we can go from there, and then everyone will be super happy. And I honestly want to give 5 out of 5 stars to this game, or 10 out of 10, or I'm never giving 10 out of 10, but 9 rating. But with this current state, with these problems, and again, I will just quickly remind you that most of the action, most of the game itself is literally in the combats, and these 20 things, still the last one is up there. These are quite destroying the combat experience. So this is the end. 20 things in the combat. This is absolutely devastating for the current state. Let me know what you this moment. Can it be even slower? Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to repeat anything. We have this video is again too long. But thank you for watching. Put down in comment section what you think. What is your absolutely frustrating thing that must be solved before you can continue normally without screaming and hitting your monitor. Finish the game, and we will meet in the next videos. Cheers.